Hello dear students, now we are on the second lecture of our lesson aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid. And in this topic we are going to do the structure of aldehydes, ketones along with the preparation which are mentioned both for aldehydes and ketones. So let us start with the first topic, that is aldehydes and ketones, their structure. We all know that the aldehydes and ketones are the carbonyl compound which are having the C double bond O linkage. The C double bond O linkage. So we can easily see that in this case the carbon is having the 3 direction associated and it is going to act in the sp2 hybridized state, the sp2 hybridized form. These are 2 sigma bonds, and out of this double bond, one is sigma and the other is pi bond. But they all are lying in the 3 sigma bonds are lying in the same plane. So the carbonyl group is sp2 hybridized and they form the 3 sigma bonds. The fourth one, that is this one, the fourth that we are talking about, the fourth valence electron of the carbon remain in its p orbital and form a pi bond with oxygen by overlap with the p orbital of oxygen. You can see that there is a formation of pi bond. A pi bond is formed in between that of the carbon and that of the oxygen orbital. Now, in addition, the oxygen atom also is having the 2 non-bonding electrons. You will see with the carbon and oxygen. This is oxygen. So, the carbon and oxygen are having a sigma bond, as well as there is a bond between the carbon and oxygen, which is a pi bond, and it is how it is acting. We can see that it is half above and half below the plane that is of the sigma bond. So, the pi electron cloud is lying half above, this is the pi electron cloud half above, and the half electron cloud is formed below that of it. But although it is formed half above and half below, but it is counted only as 1 pi bond. So we can see that carbon is having 2 sigma bond, 1 pi bond, and the other is the sigma bond. So in case there are 3 sigma bonds and 1 pi bond. It is sp2 hybridized, so the bond angle is 120 degree and the trigonal planar shape is there. Now when carbon is related to oxygen, now in case of the carbonyl compounds, we can see that oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. The C double bond O and this linkage, the oxygen being more electronegative than the carbon, it will take away the bond on it. One of the bond is shifted on the oxygen because it is more electronegative. So what happens? The bond is shifted on oxygen. Oxygen will get the negative charge and the carbon will be getting as the positive charge. The carbonyl group is now resonance stabilized. The carbonyl group is resonance stabilized, but side by side there is formation of a positive charge on carbon and a negative charge on oxygen. These formation of charge results in development of the polar character. A polar character is developed in the carbonyl compounds. Hence, the carbonyl carbon is here acting as the electrophile. Electrophile, that is the Lewis acid. And the carbonyl oxygen, which is having a negative charge, will be acting as a nucleophile. And now here we term it as a Lewis base. So the 2 main things, the carbonyl bond, the C double bond O, oxygen being more electronegative and carbon being electropositive in nature, it results in formation of a polar bond, and side by side it results in making carbon positive, that is the Lewis acid, and oxygen negative, that is the Lewis base. So these things are also going to help us when we are going to do the nucleophilic addition in the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So remember the structure, that there is a positive and negative charge on carbon and oxygen. So let us start with the preparation of aldehydes and ketones. How the aldehydes and ketones are prepared. So in the preparation part of aldehydes and ketones, in order to make the things remember easy way, we will divide the preparation into 3 parts. All the preparations of aldehydes and ketones are divided into 3 parts. So the flowchart makes the thing very easy. The first one is the preparation that are meant both for aldehyde and ketone. Both for aldehydes and ketones. So the processes that are included in this series are all those which can be applicable for aldehyde and for ketones. Now the second category that we will be continuing are only for aldehyde. Now these preparations are meant only for aldehyde. We cannot prepare ketone by this method. And the third part of our flow chart about those preparations which are meant only for ketones. So we have to start learning the preparation part into three categories. But this time we are dealing only with the preparation of aldehydes and ketones. That is, these are the chemical properties by which both aldehydes and ketones can be prepared. So let us draw a flow chart for it also, that how many reactions are associated in the preparation both for aldehydes and ketones. Some of these are studied by you in class 12, some of these in class 11. Now the first one. First is oxidation of alcohols. Oxidation of alcohols is also a mean to develop aldehydes and ketones. Now the second method is dehydrogenation of alcohols. This we also did in lesson 2, that is alcohol phenol ether by using copper at 573 Kelvin. Now the third one. The first and second are belonging to class 12. You have studied it in class 12 in lesson number 2. But the third one, the third is ozonolysis. Ozonolysis, that is adding ozone, forming ozonide, and then lysis of the ozonide product. So that we have done in class 11 in lesson hydrocarbon. And the last one, last is hydration of alkynes. So it is also somewhat related to the alkyne part that we have done in class 11. That is adding a water in the acidic medium in presence of HgSO4 on the triple bond. So our basic work now starts it with the preparation both for aldehydes and ketones. The first one, the oxidation of aldehydes, the oxidation of alcohols. So dear student, the alcohols are categorized into the three parts when we are talking about 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree. And different alcohols are giving different products in the presence of different reagents. So the oxidation of alcohols can be done in presence of strong oxidizing agents, in presence of those oxidizing agents which gives the controlled reaction. So generally the alcohols oxidation is studied as alcohols on oxidation give aldehydes or ketones, which on further oxidation gives carboxylic acid or mixture of carboxylic acid depending on which type of alcohols we have taken. So in general, the oxidation procedure follows this way, but it depends that alcohol to carboxylic acid can be done in a single step if we are using a very strong oxidizing agent. But this time we have to convert the alcohol into aldehyde or alcohol into ketone. So let us start with the case of 1 degree alcohol, that is RCH2OH. It is 1 degree alcohol. So 1 degree alcohol in presence of PCC or CrO3 in anhydrous medium. In anhydrous medium, it will result in formation of aldehyde. So 1 degree alcohol is converted into aldehyde basically in presence of PCC or anhydrous CrO3. But when we are talking about the 2 degree alcohol, that is R, CHR and OH. When we are talking about 2 degree alcohol, then mainly we use CrO3 in anhydrous medium or anhydrous CrO3. So it will be giving us, in place of aldehyde, we will be getting the ketone. So aldehydes can be prepared from 1 degree alcohol and ketones can be prepared from 2 degree alcohol if we are using a oxidizing agent that is controlled in nature. So let us see one example of each of these cases. CH3CH2OH, keeping all the conditions same as above, we will be getting the answer as CH3CHO, a direct one-step conversion. Similarly, in case of the other one, if we have taken 2 degree alcohol, CH3, CH3 and OH, All of you must be remembering it is a isopropyl alcohol. Keeping the condition same, we will be getting CH3, C double bond O and CH3. That is acetone or propanone. So oxidation of alcohol can give us 1 degree alcohol can give us aldehyde, while 2 degree alcohol can give us ketone. Okay. Now, when we talk about the dehydrogenation of alcohol, the dehydrogenation itself means removal of hydrogen. But which agent you are going to use in dehydrogenation of alcohol? So remember here, students, that not only the reagent we have to learn the temperature also. That is copper at 573 Kelvin. Again, the things are very much similar as we have done above. If we have taken the 1 degree alcohol, RCH2OH, that is 1 degree alcohol, and getting it treated with copper at 573 Kelvin, then what happens? The dehydrogenation takes place and 1 degree alcohol is converted into aldehyde. Let us see one example of it side by side also. CH3CH2OH, keeping all the conditions same, we will be getting CH3CHO. But if we have taken the 2 degree alcohol in place of it, 2 degree alcohol such as isopropyl alcohol, okay, propane to all, any of these we can take, that is a 2 degree alcohol. Then under the same condition, the 2 degree alcohol will remove the hydrogen and is converted into a ketone. So aldehyde is formed from 1 degree alcohol and a ketone is formed from a 2 degree alcohol. Let's take one more example. In case of 2 degree alcohol is CH3, CH3, and then OH. Keeping the condition same as we did above, we will be getting propanone here. Okay, so what we see, that the oxidation of alcohol is also following the same step. 1 degree alcohol giving rise to aldehyde, 2 degree alcohol is giving rise to ketone. And in case of dehydrogenation, copper at 573, 1 degree alcohol is giving us aldehyde and 2 degree alcohol is giving us ketone. Because oxidation takes place in presence of oxidizing agent, while the dehydrogenation takes place in presence of copper at 573 Kelvin. Now it comes the third one, which is related to our class 11, that is the hydrocarbon part. That includes the ozonolysis and the hydration of alkynes. So remembering, you must be remembering that what happens in ozonolysis. When we are talking about ozonolysis, we used to take the simple alkene, adding O3, getting ozonide, and when ozonide is treated with zinc dust and water, what we get is, we get carbonyl compound. These carbonyl compound can be aldehyde or ketone or a mixture or pure, depending which alkene we have taken. So what happens, what we will be taking the alkyne. If you are following a particular method of drawing the alkenes, then it would be very well sufficient that your answer is never going to be wrong. So always draw alkene as C double bond C, keeping both the bonds in the form as shown. So as soon as O3 is added, the double bond is replaced by the ozonide structure. We get the ozonide structure and then it is followed with the lysis. Lysis is breaking down. So in presence of zinc dust and water, it undergoes the lysis. The lysis occurs as breaking of the bond and it will be forming the product C double bond O followed with C double bond O. Now what is going to be happen? It can be aldehyde, it can be ketone, depending what I have placed in these positions. What the things I have placed in this position, the formation of aldehyde and ketone depends on these locations. Let's see one example of it. For example, we have taken propene. So the first thing, how to write the propene? C double bond C, single bond C, keeping H2s properly, hydrogen. Okay, now drawing it in the manner as I told you, C double bond C, keeping both the sides on. On the first carbon, there are 2 hydrogen, but on the second carbon, there is 1 hydrogen and the other is CH3. So as soon as you add O3, you will be getting HCH, then the ozonide. Formation of ozonide, how it is formed? It is just a hut-like structure. As in the primary, you used to draw the hut-like structures. Okay. Now when you add zinc dust and water, you will be getting the dissociated part. The lysis of ozonide takes place. This structure is known as ozonide and it is undergoing lysis. Lysis, that is breaking. So what you will be getting? HCH. The single bond O is converted into double bond O plus HCOCH3. Okay. So you can see that the first structure is converted into H. On both the sides it is H. Even if there is one H, then we are also going to call it as aldehyde. So what we have taken in the above one is HCHO and the lower one is CH3CHO. In this case, we got the answer as both the aldehydes, but these aldehydes are different because the attachment to the C double bond C are different in nature. Now, similarly, you can also do one more example, that is for 2-methyl but1-ene. 2-methyl but1-ene. Okay. So we can draw it like this: 2-methyl but1-ene. Then placing hydrogen on it, CH2. This carbon doesn't require any hydrogen. All the bonds are there. It required 2 hydrogen and this carbon required 3 hydrogen. So it is 2-methyl, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 2-methyl but1-ene. As soon as we add O3 to it, we will be getting both the carbon in the form of ozonide. Okay. On one carbon there are both the hydrogens, but on the other carbon, on one side it is C2H5 and on the other side it is CH3. Look here at the structures very carefully. Then the O3 which has been added will occupy the center position here, forming the ozonide. Now as soon as the ozonide is formed, we will be placing zinc dust and water. So now in adding zinc dust and water to the above formed ozonide, we will be getting the product after the lysis as C2H5, C double bond O, CH3, that is the ketone, and the other is C double bond O followed with 2H. So the one product is butane to one, butane to one, and the other is going to be methanol. So in this case, one is the ketone and the other is the aldehyde. Now we come to the other part, that is the hydration in alkynes. So what is hydration in alkynes? When the triple bond is added with the water in presence of H2SO4 and HgSO4 followed with the temperature 333 Kelvin. So when an alkyne is treated with water in presence of H2SO4 dilute, HgSO4 and at 333 Kelvin temperature, first of all it will be giving rise to enol intermediate product, enol product that will undergo tautomerism resulting in formation of aldehyde or ketone. So let us see the examples of it. We have taken ethyne, CH triple bond CH, added water. The condition followed are same. So it will form CH2 double bond CHOH. It is vinyl alcohol, C double bond C and OH. That will undergo tautomerism, giving rise to CH3CHO. What is it? Ethanol. And then if we are doing the same reaction on propine, CH3, C triple bond CH, adding water in the same condition, first of all it will be forming CH3, COH, double bond CH2, that will again undergo tautomerism, giving rise to CH3, CO, and then CH3. Okay, it is propanone. So it is very well clear here that only the ethyne on hydration would result in formation of aldehyde. All the other alkynes, all the other higher alkynes, that is the higher alkynes other than ethyne, all will undergo hydration, giving rise to formation of ketone. And the other very important thing is that formaldehyde cannot be prepared by this method. Formaldehyde cannot be prepared by this method. Okay. So this is all about what we have done in the preparation part, that is oxidation of alcohol, dehydrogenation of alcohol, then ozonolysis, and the hydration of alkynes. So now some of the questions regarding this topic. Give the name of the reagent to bring about the following conversion. If you have to bring about the following conversion, but only to the respective state, hexane 1-ol to hexanal. When we are talking about hexane 1-ol, it is a 1-degree alcohol. And then to aldehyde, alcohol is converted into aldehyde. So we all know that in order to convert an alcohol into aldehyde, the best reagent is going to be the PCC. So hexane 1-ol to hexanal can be done by using PCC. Now the cyclohexanol can be converted into cyclohexanone. The alcohol is into ketone. So it can be done by using K2Cr2O7 in acidic medium. Such questions are also available in NCERT back exercise also. Now the part 3, allyl alcohol to propanol. So if we go in the depth of this part, it is alcohol into ul, the same carbon. The number of carbons in allyl and the number of the carbon in propanol are same. So if we have to maintain the number same and then converting alcohol into aldehyde, then we all know that the agent is going to be PCC. Now the fourth part, butene to ethanol. So in order to do such questions that are having a number of difference of carbon also, basically what we follow is we have to convert a double bond into aldehyde. Okay. A double bond into aldehyde can be converted by using the ozonolysis, and it is also the method by which converts a thing into two parts, smaller two parts. So if we take the example of butene to ethanol, so it is very much known to us that it is going to be followed by using the ozonolysis method. But in this part, we have to give the name of the reagent. So the name of the reagents are ozone followed with zinc dust and water. So that these all things are required in order to convert alcohol into aldehyde or alkene into aldehyde. Now in the next lecture, we are going to talk about the preparation which are meant only for aldehyde. So today our work was making out of those reactions both for aldehyde ketone. Now in the next we will be doing the preparations only for aldehyde, followed with some of the questions also. Till then, goodbye.